So we have some like little fun segments that we do for like TikToks and reels and things to kind of create buzz for the show. And some of these segments I'm going to let you choose between one or two segments, okay? Which this is a
Okay.
lot of fun. So the first one, choose either did you know or fun.
I guess I'll go fun.
Okay, so fun is what are your hobbies outside of music?
I sew a lot. I've sewn my whole life, and I make this planner. Like I literally draw out and create my own planner that I sell each year. Um, and I screen print a lot of my own merch. I'm kind of a craft addict.
It's a creative doesn't stop at music, right? Like yeah. You get that creative brain, you have to fulfill that.
I'm such a stereotypical ADHD person with like 40 craft stations in the
My
house.
wife's
Yeah.
the same way. We've got this canopy outside where like she tries to restore furniture and bring it back to
Done
life.
that.
Yeah, and but the problem is she has chronic pain, so like she'll get like 30 minutes into a 90-minute project, and then she can't move for 2 weeks, right, because of her pain.
Right.
So it just
Yeah.
sits
And
there
like
under the canopy.
when you've got the finish stripper on the
Yep.
wood, you can't just stop. You have to keep
It's
going.
it's
Yeah.
tough for her, man. She hates it, and I empathize big time. All right, next segment is called impactful. This is kind of a new one for us. Can you name three people that really impacted your life, music, however you want to put it out there? Three people that impacted you in some way, and can you tell us the biggest thing you learned from each of those three people?
Okay. Wow. That's hard. Um, One is my art teacher in high school for junior and senior year, Carla Coop. Um, she was an incredible teacher, incredible. I mean, you could not ask for a better art educator, I think. But she would occasionally take us into Houston to have like a museum day or something. We'd go see one of the big galleries or a museum. And at the beginning of the day, she would say, just remember. I mean, this is somebody for whom art is the most important thing,
Yeah.
basically.
Mm-hmm.
And she'd say, just remember, it's just art. You don't have to like it.
Yep.
And that has been such a guiding philosophy
Wow.
for me to remember that art and appreciation and taste are eminently personal. That we each of us have these rubrics and rankings, and we think of high art or folk art, or we think of better or worse or greater or lesser quality or whatever, but really it's just opinion.
Yeah. Subjective.
And what moves somebody is great art to them. And you know I still cling to all of the other paradigms that contradict that,
Mm-hmm.
but I do love having that in balance in my mind at all times. um It also helps when you like have poo-pooed something or some artist or some work as a younger person and later on realize that you really, really like it
Yeah.
because you finally get it.
Yeah. That's Will Ferrell for me, by the way.
So I would say Miss Coop, Carla Coop, she was a big one. She was a big one.
You got
You
two.
wanted three
Yeah,
people?
you got two more.
Okay. My mom, uh, of course, influential in so many, in infinite ways, as one's mother, uh, who is part of my life every day,
Mm-hmm.
would be. I continue to realize things about her and about my childhood and about her life and who I am. I mean, every day I see things that I didn't understand before. That, some of them that give me a great amount of empathy for her, some that give me some pity, some that make me disappointed. You know, there's a whole range of
Yeah.
things, but um,
And that could be
I think
scary
about
revisiting stuff like that,
I
right?
want to one thing in particular is relationships that she held, many different kinds of relationships that she held with other people in her life, whether they were family or friends or in the community or clients, that I had various levels of confusion or disapproval or admiration for, even as a younger person, and seeing how those, I guess, kind of analyses have shifted over time
Yeah.
as my understanding of her and of the world we're in changed. Um, I'm very grateful for having been able to observe this person in my life, you know. And as wonderful and as fun and as difficult as times in our relationship have been, I'm very, very grateful for the person she is. And then I would say my partner, Charlie, he's a painter, and we've been together for, I guess, 9 years. Uh,
Another creative
he
type, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And he used to be a music manager, so he totally understands my job, which is such a blessing.
Yeah.
He's such a smart person. He's done so much work on himself before we got together, and he was a good friend of mine before, you know, many for several years before we started dating. And he has taught me, just by how he lives and how he thinks about the world and the endless conversations we've had, he's taught me so much about being a person in a community, about being true to yourself, about giving yourself permission to live your life. And
Good for him.
it he has been one of the truly most freeing catalysts in my life, and
Good.
I'm eternally grateful for
I
him.
love that, man. I love that a lot. Okay, so choose either Mount Rushmore or one artist.
Rushmore.
All right, so who are the four best singer songwriters in your opinion? The Mount Rushmore of singer songwriters.
So this is actually, I can't answer this. And I know that sounds like a cop out, but my brain is actually kind of incapable of favorites.
Okay.
I cannot tell you a favorite color or a favorite ice cream or a
Well,
favorite.
let's try one artist then. This is also kind of a favorite though, so maybe we'll reword this. One artist is, can you tell us one artist you wish the entire world knew about?
Woody Guthrie.
There you go. I love that. Okay, yeah. Good stuff. All right, next one's called What the Heck. This is kind of like a little game show where I'm going to shoot 5 rapid fire questions at you and just tell me the first thing that hits your mind. Okay, so no change in answers. Like what you see. This is supposed to give you a visual.
Gotcha.
All right, so let's see here. Number 1, what was your most awkward moment on stage?
Recently, I launched a gigantic spit bubble in the middle of a very slow song, and it landed back on my face as a glob of drool. And it was the kind of song where I could not have either hand leave the guitar for the entirety of the song, not even for a second. And so this giant glob of spit just sat on my face for 4 minutes.
So did you act like it wasn't there, or did you make it into a comedy bit?
I tried very poorly to kind of hide it behind my microphone, but I knew everybody could see it.
Okay. All right. Number 2, let's see here. What has been your favorite age so far?
Current age.
Okay. Number 3, if a penguin walked into your room right now wearing a sombrero, why is he there and what is he doing?
Somebody has played a trick on me, and he's thinking it's way too hot.
It's way too hot. All right, even in almost October. All right. See, I'm from the Northeast, so like hot is I'm used to it now. I've been here 24 years, but man, I'll tell you what. Like people up there, a heat wave is 3 days of 90 degrees or more. And I was like, oh, you mean February to November? Oh man. All right,
Yeah.
number four. What world record do you think you have a shot at breaking?
Oh.
I have a feeling you have an answer and you're trying to think of a different one.
No, I'm actually thinking like, could I literally win a world record in anything? I literally cannot think of a single thing I would win the world record of. At.
All right, how about a different number four?
Yeah.
Why do you think
Sorry.
McDonald's doesn't serve hot dogs?
Because they probably boil them, and the only place you want a boiled hot dog from is a New York street corner.
I agree with that 100%. Yeah. All right, last one, number five. If you could spend 1 hour with anyone from the past, who would it be and what would you talk about?
An hour with anyone from the past. Hmm. Anyone from the past? It's too hard.
Someone you look up to.
Yeah. Uh, golly. See, there are people who I look up to or who I love what they've contributed, but I'd be scared to death to sit with them, or I don't think that they might make very much sense in person, and so I wouldn't really want to spend an hour with. There are like
Yeah.
people who you admire who you don't really want to sit down with.
Yeah.
Um, but like I'd actually want to spend an hour with them.
An hour's a long time. I see what you're saying.
Right. Or like
Yeah.
some people who are great wits, but then like, what if within 5 minutes, like, what if you
Yeah,
were
what do you
sitting down with Dorothy Parker and she like hates
Yeah.
you? And it's clear within like 3 minutes that she can't stand you and
You
thinks you're
still have
stupid. Like that would
57
be the
minutes
most
left.
painful next 57 minutes of her
Yes.
life. Like,
Oh man. I
so
love
that's
it.
really pretty hard. So,
That's a great.
I mean, I don't know.
This is good. I love it. That's a good answer. Good non-answer.
Okay.
I love it so much.
Sorry.
All right, next one. I'm not even going to allow you to choose fly on the wall based on that. All right, next one's called bucket list. What are some things that you still have on your bucket list of things you want to do or accomplish?
I want to go to the Neon Sign Museum. I want to do, let's see, I'd like to ride like in a sleeper car in more countries, like on passenger trains.
Oh, that'd be cool.
I've only ridden so far in the US and Canada, so I'd like to do some. I mean, I've ridden on passenger trains in other countries, but not on like a sleeper car. Um, I would I would like hmm. This is difficult for some reason.
I think the sleeper car is a great answer.
That's yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, it doesn't feel like the ultimate dream
But
of mine,
no,
but
man,
like
that's cool. That's such a cool visual just for me. Like you already travel so much, right? Like that's so cool. The sleeper car. I would have never thought of something as cool as that. Um, all right, choose either biggest lesson or moment of gravity.
biggest lesson or moment of gravity. Uh this is going to be pretty dark, but 9.5 years ago, when I was raped at a music festival, and I made, as soon as I was, we are rather certain that I was drugged, and I, the next day, as all of my memories were kind of starting to patch together, um, as soon as I felt physically able, I drove home and sat down at my computer and immediately wrote down, typed out everything that I could remember about it. And I took that to the police, and the first detective who read it, he had read it in another room, and he came back and he said, "Are you sure about this? This is a pretty serious accusation." And then once it was referred to the correct police department, because I had reported it in the department, city where I lived rather than the city where it happened. And over the next several months, when almost none of my calls were ever returned and no information was ever given to me about my rape kit, about my case, about anything, that was when I realized for sure that women are not people in this country.
I'm sorry you went through that.
Thanks.
Yeah, my wife and I talk about that all the time. I have a daughter right now who is pregnant, and I live in Texas. So that's terrifying. That's all I'll say about that. And as an extension of that, I wanted to make sure that before we did get off of here, I wanted to thank you for what you and James did in Tennessee. I think you know what I'm talking about, where he came out in the dress and you came out in what you came out in. I just want to thank you guys for the courage that it took to do that. And as somebody who gets it, thank you for that. That leads me to this. What are the 3 things you are the most grateful for?
The life that I lead requires, and I know nobody out there wants to hear this, but endless work. Endless work. I'm so grateful to be able to do it. It's really hard.
Yeah.
But when I think of all the other things that, I've been blessed in so many ways because I have been given a lot of opportunities. My parents did let us take a lot of different kinds of lessons and explore a lot of interests, and honestly, I could have made a good living doing a variety of things, and I probably would have been pretty good and pretty happy at a lot of those choices. But when I think about them now, and I think about alternate things I could be doing with my life and how I could probably be pretty happy, I can't imagine enjoying any of them more than what I do. And that is like the greatest.
That's so cool. Yeah, because one another theme on this show is the stifling of artistry, right, and how miserable that can make a creative person. So yeah, you could probably be happy, but would it really totally be happy without the creative side of things? I love that you're able to do what you love, and I'm just such a huge fan of yours, so thank you for doing it. Thank you for the music and for what you do. And this is the last segment, and this might be the hardest one to answer. The segment is called "Who Do You Think You Are?" Who is BettySoo?
I'm one of whatever 7 billion people on the planet who gets to live in a great community. I have people whom I love. I get to make a living. And whether or not anybody remembers or cares 20 years after I die that I existed, who knows, But nobody knows that. And I just feel very lucky to have the people in my life I do and to have the work that I get to do in front of me.